Hello and welcome to the Quiver channel. I am Jason, your host. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. I am on my way to the park, and then from there I'm going to go up to the Tesco because, well, seriously? I'm actually going to cross over onto this road here just for a little bit because it's the one part that doesn't seem to have a good ramp, so I'm going to go on here until I get onto this bit here. But there, right, so okay. So, first things first. Last night I was at the accident and emergency. How did that come about? Well, as you know, I've been dealing with leg pains for a week now. My concern, and also the doctor's concern, because it wasn't just me, because you know me, when it comes to medical stuff, I will always check. I ring up 111 and we went through all the checks and that to make sure I wasn't dying. And well, I'm not dying yet. Oh, we're all dying, but you know what I mean. How can I put this? How is the easiest way to put this? The concern was twofold. What? That because I had sat down so much while looking after my the thingy, that I had given myself a deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot in my leg. This isn't a good thing, this isn't something that you want, this isn't something that's good, because not only can it be bad for your leg and cause a lot of pain, it can actually the blood clot can move from your legs to your lungs and all that kind of thing, which is a very nasty thing and very dangerous. So if you do ever have a really deep pain in your leg that you haven't that you haven't pulled a muscle, that you haven't done anything that you can lock down as being, oh, I did that, that's why I'm hurting. If anything like that happens, then, and you can't, and it doesn't go away, then see a doctor, because that's a bad thing. So it could be that. It could also be another dangerous thing, because I'm on a certain type of blood pressure medication. Why am I on these blood pressure medications? Because of my autism, and autistic people will always have a high blood pressure, because we're always overdriving our body in that. We're always in panic, fight or flight mode, subconsciously. So we don't get the rest mode that most people get. It's not easy for us to rest. People with ADHD are the same. They can have really bad hypertension and things like that. So one of my medications can mess with the salts in your body, and those salts, even though they're a minute amount, are extremely important to your body, and you will die if they go out of whack. Potassium and that kind of thing, and potassium can cause leg pains and cramps and all that. So I called up the 111, and because I always want to second guess myself when it comes. I know so much about medical stuff. I know more than most bloody doctors. That's a crazy thing in certain things. So, but I always know that I'm not a professional. I've got to always second. You can't self-diagnose this kind of shit. I spent an entire week trying to fix it, doing normal things that would normally fix or make a sprain slightly better and that, and so on and so forth. Nothing worked. So I rang up 111. They talk to me. They go through this whole checklist. It's basically a gatekeeper system. 111 is a gatekeeper system where you ring there, and then they will tell you whether or not you need to go to accident emergency, whether or not you need to see your GP, whether a pharmacist can help, whether or not you can wait. And they will also say, yeah, you need an ambulance right the fuck now, type thing. It's a good system as a gatekeeper to stop a lot of stuff wasting time. So I tell them all my symptoms. I'm not having a heart attack or anything like that. I've not got the clammy and all those things that they ask. I already know because I've learned to myself. So this says, I'm going to talk to my supervisor, so please stay on the line. They take your phone number just so that if anything happens, they can get back to you, which is a good thing. So, yeah. I am on the phone line, waited for about 10 minutes while they went to talk to someone. They said, we'd like to get the out of hours GP to call you just to clarify some of these situations, because some of the stuff that's wrong with me, like things, can mask other things. See, the good thing about a general practitioner, a GP, is they may not have the expert knowledge in certain areas, they haven't, but they are general practitioners. They can see the overall picture. They aren't just for coughs and sneezes. They can see. A good GP, like the ones I've got, are bloody brilliant, and they will know when things are bad and going on. And so I went upstairs. They sent me a link through some advice. I'd raised my legs. That was hurting badly still, and was slightly swollen, and put you on a pillow, and that's so I waited there for an hour. That's when I sent a message to Munchies and said I might not be there tonight. I might actually go to the hospital or something. So we're at that point. The rings, we go through everything. There's a bit of miscommunication because the connection wasn't brilliant on the phone, but we get through it. In the end, he says, after all you've told me and that, and all the things that you've dealt with and that, and knowing that you have a really high pain threshold, which is actually documented by my doctor, because sometimes my doctor sees me and says, why the hell didn't you contact us before now? Because my pain threshold is so high, I've just handled it. So he says, I'd like you to go to A&E within the next 6 hours. He says, I can send over information and get you booked in there. Can you make it there? Do you feel okay to make it there? Because their worry was that if it was one of the bad ones, if it was a deep vein thrombosis or something like a low potassium, I could faint and bad things could happen before I got there and things that. But yeah, I was cognitive enough to know that, yeah, I'll be okay. I can handle this. And this wasn't bravado or anything, so I just go on so he says, okay. So, I mean, credit to them. I mean, they work with what they've got and they are fucking good. I've never had any problem. They've always looked after me and always looked after Paola when it comes to things like this. So I end up going there to the hospital. They do, when you go to the accidents emergency in the UK, they've got what's called a triage system in place. Now the triage is a nurse who will see you first. She will, let's get past that. Now I'm going to go up this road a little bit because it's very quiet. It'll just be easier for me to get all the way over there. In fact, I'll get back on here because there's a car coming. I'm still waiting for my paperwork for this vehicle. So yeah. So I'm there. I'm seen by the triage nurse, which is is another line of defence. It's to stop. It helps deal with things that can just be dealt with. It helps send people home who shouldn't be there, and so on. Maybe get them to get them different actual help. I mean, seriously, no, I can't get through there. I'm going to go this way. I'm allowed to go on here, even in a class thing, if there's stuff in the way that will make it impossible to dive across. So I'm going to get on here. It should be okay for going around this corner and getting there. We should be okay. So I'm seen by the triage. We go through all the stuff. You see, I don't waste medical people's time. I know enough about medical stuff to be able to deal with most of what goes on for myself and to try to fix most of what's wrong with me. I don't like going to doctors. It isn't a phobia or anything. It's just I've dealt with a lot of stuff and it adds another layer of stress to my coping strategies and that. So she sees me, she says, okay, yeah, sends me straight past the other people waiting in the normal A&E because of what we're seeing that it could be. So first thing they do is draw a blood, a lot of blood. They basically, I think it's 7 different vials of blood. And those 7 vials of blood go off to the fast phlebotomy lab, I believe it's called. It's a weird name. Phlebotomy lab. And then let's see, I don't want to cross over yet because there's a few thingies there that might block. So they take my bloods. I was there for about 3.5 hours. And then they asked me to wait in this little waiting room that's off the main waiting room. It's in the main waiting room. It's a secondary waiting room for people that they want to keep an eye on. It's interesting always to see the system in place that allows for all this, and they've got systems in place to make sure people are okay. And so, what do we do at that point? Then a really nice doctor, a lovely doctor. I mean, these doctors work massive shifts and they deal with so much stuff. And I'm always so grateful for their time. And he says, we've got good news. And I say, I like good news because I'm sitting on my scooter, I'm stressing the fuck out. I'm dealing with a lot of stress because I'm around people. I've got my mask on and everything to make sure I'm safe from A&E cooties, diseases and that. And yeah, I'm just stressed and trying to keep myself going. And it says good news and I'm going, yeah, I'm glad you led with that. The good news is always good. It says your blood work is pretty much perfect. He says all your blood, everything from your kidney to your liver to your white cells to potassium levels, everything's much perfect. Everything is perfect. There's no markers coming up for bad stuff or anything like that. It says you're in good condition. It's like, oh, nice. That's a relief. That's a yay. That was a bit of a stretch. And then he says, this pain in your leg, we go through all the pain in my leg and that, and he checks what I've already done. He was actually quite amused by all the things I tried myself before coming to the doctors. So he says there's this pain and that, because it's a deep pain and it's not a surface pain. He tried pressing into my muscles and that, and there was no thingy. It was definitely a deep pain that was inside. He says, so this is what we need to do. I need you to take paracetamol for a week and get a topical cream that goes on your legs and that for pain relief. You can get that from, that's why we're going to Tesco at the moment. We're going to pick up some paracetamol and we're going to pay, because the paracetamol I have in the house is actually from 2000, went out of date 2018, because I never had that kind of thing in the house for myself. It's like, okay, so if that, he says this is the first case, it could be a deep muscular pain to do with basically sitting down next to your mum's bed or anything and all that kind of thing and all the stress and tension, and that could be that. But this, if it is, it will go away slowly as you actually just thingy. So the pain, this will, if the paracetamol don't take the edge off it at all, then, which he says it's what we call a nerve pain, and you've taken some kind of damage or thingy to the nerve areas of the leg, and that is, and he says that will be something that we have to deal with. It says so you try a normal thing and it won't go all the way down. So let me just check there. So we'll stop here, but I'm doing that. So if the pain doesn't go away, then it's nerve pain, and I've got to go see a GP in about a week and a half to get some nerve pain medication, because there's different kinds of medication. So we'll go through that if it's that. So the good news is I'm not dying. It's none of the problems that it could be to do with me, and we're good as far as we can tell. So this is Jason for the Quipper channel, signing off on that one.